What's up guys, it's Ed from TechSource and welcome to May's PC builds. I do these every single month. They're basically theoretical builds. In case you guys missed my last month's video, I'll drop a link to it down below. I did some pretty cool Ryzen 5 configurations, so make sure to check that out if you are interested. So I decided to spice things up a bit in this video and decided to go with a high-end overkill build. Actually, this is my personal build. I'm calling it Big Red version 2. And this is the build I'm going to be water cooling as well. But in this video, I'm going to make everything a lot simpler and just exclude all the extra water cooling gear and stay with air cooled parts. So Big Red version 2, it's going to cost around $7. I wish $7,000 with all of the mods and custom backplates and painting and all that stuff. So it's going to be a pretty ridiculous build. I'm also going to be putting in a $900 balanced Intel build. So with that said, let's start it off. So we're going with the very popular 7600K quad-core processor, which is perfect for gaming, but we're going to be overclocking this, so we do need a capable CPU cooler that won't break the bank. The CM212 Evo has proven to be the king of value, and for only $25 it will get the job done while keeping the system fairly quiet in the process. We do need a Z270 board for overclocking, of course, and one of the best ones, if not the best board out there for around $100 is the MSI Mortar, which is a micro ATX board. It does support Crossfire, so if you're planning on running 2 AMD GPUs, then this will get the job done for you. Unfortunately, it doesn't support SLI, so NVIDIA users are only limited to 1 GPU. Then again, it is a micro ATX board around $100. It also features 4 DIMM slots and supports memory up to 3800 MHz in dual channel. It has 6 SATA ports, 1 M.2, and it's also got 3 USB 3.1 Type A ports and 1 Type C. And finally, it's Intel Optane memory ready, and for only $105, you honestly get a lot of features. For RAM, we are going with the usual 2 sticks of 4GB from G.Skill for around $60, and since the motherboard does have 4 DIMM slots, you can actually add extra RAM down the line if you like. It does feature an M.2 slot, so we are taking advantage of that, and we're going with the Intel 600P series 128GB M.2, which we will use as the main drive for the OS, and also anything else that you guys want installed on it for fast loading times. However, we also added a 1TB hard drive from WD for mass storage. Again, I want to emphasize that storage is always subjective, and you can go with however much space you want that will meet your needs. The GPU we are starting off with is the 1060 6GB variant from EVGA, and this is the superclock version, which will easily get you over 60 FPS and max settings for 1080p gaming. If you want something more powerful or want to game in 2K resolution, I suggest bumping up the card to a 1070. We do have a black and red theme going on with the motherboard and RAM stick colors, so I decided to keep that color scheme and pick up the NZXT S340 case, which works beautifully with this configuration. And finally, powering this entire build is the EVGA 500 watt power supply, which is plenty, but if you're going to be upgrading to a 1070 later down the line, I suggest picking up at least a 600 watt power supply. Once again, this build will cost you a little under $900, and I think it's a very solid and balanced gaming PC with lots of room for upgrades in the future. And finally, we got Big Red version 2 or V2, whatever you want to call it. I haven't upgraded or rebuilt Big Red in over 3 years. For those of you that have been following me for such a long time, Big Red was my original custom PC that I built for myself. I custom painted the GPUs, everything. It was such a beast PC. I'll drop a link to the video in case you guys missed it, but I think it's time to finally build myself a PC. I've been using the iBuyPower for the past, I think 6 months now, but it's ready. I'm ready to move on. The only reason I've been kind of hesitant to move forward with this build is because the X99 chipset is kind of outdated, and I've been waiting for Skylake X, which is the new platform, and they're going to be releasing 6-core, 8-core, and even 10-core processors in Computex this year. So I'm kind of waiting for that before I pull the trigger on this, because otherwise I'll feel pretty upset if I do go with this build and spend all this money on it, and then a better and newer 10-core processor would come out from Intel. So that is why I'm patiently waiting. So these will be the specs of my next gaming PC unless Skylake X comes out within the next few months. So we got the 6950X 10-core processor because I mostly edit videos compared to gaming, and I always want the best in my personal PC. We do need a solid cooler to keep the temps down as well as get some high clocks, which is why I picked up the Be Quiet Silent Loop 280, which will also keep the PC nice and quiet. Keep in mind that this will be the cooler I will go with if I don't water cool the PC. The motherboard of choice is the Gigabyte GAX99 Ultra Gaming, and it has all the bells and whistles I can ask for in a high-end build. Also, the color scheme is perfect for what I'm going with. You guys know that black and red is my go-to color scheme, and it's kind of getting a bit old, to be honest, and I want to change things up a bit. So I'm actually adding a third color in, which is white. So it's going to be a white and black build with some red accents. Speaking of red accents, I'm going to be picking up 64 gigs of RAM from G.Skill Trident Z at a clock speed of 3200 MHz, which obviously I will be overclocking. For storage, I'm going with a 1TB 960 Pro M.2 SSD from Samsung and a 10TB hard drive from Seagate, which will satisfy all of my storage needs. At least I hope so. It's no surprise that I'm going with 2 Titan XPs simply because I want the most power in my build, even though I'm probably not going to even use them to its full potential. Now, these are the new Titan XPs that were recently announced by Nvidia, which are actually a lot faster than their 1080 Ti's. The case I'm going with is the NZXT S340, which is still, even till today, one of my favorite cases of all time, and I'm going with a white one because of the new color scheme. And finally, powering this entire build is the Corsair AX1500i power supply, which probably is overkill since I really only need around 1000 watts for this build, but hey, why not? The entire build will cost me around $6,600, not including all the extra mods and fans that I will be buying to build a beautiful PC. You guys already know this. If it doesn't stand out, it's not a TechSource PC. But that is it for this video. As always, if you guys enjoy these monthly theoretical PC builds, leave a like. If you don't like the series, make sure to leave a dislike. That is cool too. I'll drop a link to all the parts mentioned down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love your faces, and I'll see you in the next one.